Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to Tony Talks AI, and in this video, we're going to talk about Claude subagents. Most people treat Claude subagent like a stronger version of a skill, but they have very two different use cases. So what is a Claude subagent then? A subagent is an isolated instance of Claude that is ephemeral or a temporary worker. It has its own system prompts, context window, tool, and then the result, they pass it back to the main agent. Ibig sabihin nito, they always start fresh at lahat ng reasoning and reading niya is isolated from the primary thread. Kung may naririnig ka rin naman na agent teams, iba rin yun na feature dito sa Claude. Because a agent team, yun yung parang nag-orchestrate ka ng between agents talaga. Habang ito si sub-agent, it's like it only exists during the time you call it, and then after it has done its job, it disappears. Now, what is the failure mode that it's trying to resolve? Context window kasi, it degrades under disposable intermediate state or yung mga temporary steps. So ano ba yung intermediate state or mga temporary steps? Ito yung mga reasoning and response ni Claude every time we try to ask it to do something. Yung nakikita natin na thinking, tas dot, at saka yung parang nagmo-monologue siya about what it's trying to do, that's what it is. Alam din kasi natin na marami pang inilalagay sa context window, right? Nandun yung system prompt, nandun yung Claude MD, nandun yung mga short description ng mga tools, ng mga MCPs. Tapos, on top of that, we ask it to, let's say, understand a subsystem of your code base. So what would Claude do? Mag-grep siya ng mga files na related to that, and then it's going to read all of them and understand all of them, and then summarize it and then give a response back to you or the result back to you. The problem is, lahat nung steps and reading and research na yon, it stays in the context window for the lifetime of this chat session. Tapos, next step naman sinabihan mo siya na, hey, why don't you do a security review of my code? So, ganun ulit, research, grepping the files, and then creating summarizing the result. Lahat ng ulit yun, nag-i-stay lang siya doon sa context window. After a while, yung primary agent, may dala-dala na siyang mga baggage na hindi naman ito kailangan, and then yung judgment niya ay lumalala, pumapangit. Ito yung napapansin natin na pag humahaba na natin kausapin yung mga LLM para na silang nabobobo. Well, this is one of the reason why. That's why the sub-agents exist. Para yung mga mechanical parts or steps, ihiwalay natin sa main context window para pristine, focus yung chat session na yon according lang sa kailangan na context para magawa mo yung gusto mong gawin within that session. Another benefit pa ng sub-agent is kung gusto mo lagyan ng constraint yung sub-agent mo or yung action na yun. For example, you wanna do root cause analysis, so wala tong writing or reading lang talaga siya, parang ibibigay lang sa'yo is a summary of the analysis and no implementation yet. All of those things pwede mong gawin pag sinet up mo sa isang sub-agent. So now, when should you create or use one? So a good mental model for a sub-agent is, it's like asking yourself, is this mechanical steps, is this reading, researching, whatever it is, connected or important to the current task that I am doing in this chat session? If it is, then ideally, or if it's not, then ideally that task should exist somewhere else. Another practical example nito is, kunwari, you wanna do a security review nga. Maybe you're doing something in your main chat session and you wanna check, you know what, let's check how it does sa security side naman. Iba yun iba yung purpose, iba yung goal nila. So, pwede mong ipa-review na lang yung sub-agent. Well, of course, I know that security reviews, maganda isang sariling session niya. Pero malay mo, gusto mo lang yung onting review lang, check mo lang, parang ganon. So that checking should happen on a separate sub-agent kasi lahat ng research, lahat ng reading na gagawin niya should exist elsewhere kasi iba yung focus at ginagawa mo dito sa main session. So, yun yung mental model or distinction na pwede mong isipin para malaman mo kung kailan mo ba kailangan gumawa ng sub-agent. Of course, opposite is true kung tungkol naman sa when should you not create a sub-agent. Kasi kung meron kang skill or action na pinapagawa kay Claude na importante rin sa goal na ginagawa mo for that specific chat session, then yung result, even if yung research and reading importante para sa end goal mo, then those should stay inside the main chat session. For example, gumagawa ka ng iterative work. Of course, when you're doing that, it's good if Claude knows like what was the old code, ano bang ginawa, makita niya yung diff ng dalawa para malaman niya at maintindihan niya lalo kung ano yung progress, ano yung ginawa before at ano yung problem ngayon at ano yung next feature na kailangan gawin. All of those things are really important. So, pag ganun naman yung task, mechanical steps should stay inside the main context window kasi importante siya. Yun ang mental model natin in order for us to identify when should you create one or when should you not create one. Okay, so now, how does this actually work? Like everything in Claude, inilalagay yan sa umpisa sa chat turn mo sa context window. Nandyan yung mga short description for the skills, short description for the tools, MCPs. Lahat yan nilalagay yun sa context window. That's the same with the sub-agent. Tapos it gets triggered via prose or natural language while you're chatting with it. Kasi nga, pag nandun sa short description yung purpose niya, tapos nakita niya, yung intent is the same, then it gets triggered. Another way is, of course, you can trigger it directly by mentioning it, yung sign. You can directly trigger it through that then. And then once it gets triggered, ang gagawin nun is it's going to spin up another instance of a Claude code. Tapos, kung meron ka ng ginawang sub-agent specifically for that, ilo-load niya lang yung mga instructions mo na naandun. Kung wala naman, gagawa na lang siya ng generic sub-agent depending sa goal na andun sa intention mo sa chat. Pag gumawa ka naman ng sarili mong specific sub-agent, you control 3 things. Andyan yung description, yung system prompts, yung tools. So, may pagka-guardrail na pwede mong ilagay doon. And then, of course, yung default run nito is it's a background task. Ibig sabihin, yung response or yung output niya, pinapasa lang niya yung summary nun kay main chat agent and yun yung na-expose sa'yo. Hindi talaga yung kung ano directly na result nung ginagawa ni sub-agent. It doesn't get exposed to the user. Now, okay, finally, what are my key takeaways here? Para sa akin, ang magandang generic rule is, lagay mo lang dun sa Claude MD mo na if the task is mechanical in nature, then delegate it to a sub-agent. Meron akong specific na Claude line dun sa Claude MD na ipapakita ko siguro sa mga different video na nandun yung sub-agent na rule na yon. Now, this is just from my experience. Kasi for that specific rule, pag meron ka namang Claude MD, tapos naandun din naman yung short description niya sa when you're creating a Claude sub-agent, pag nagtutugma naman din yon, the models right now are really smart na instead of assigning it as creating a fresh instance of a sub-agent, tapos walang settings, pag meron naman siya nakita nga na may na-create ka na sub-agent, more often than not, ginagamit niya rin naman talaga yung nagawa mong sub-agent. Of course, if you want to be really parang semi-deterministic or parang gusto mong mag-increase pa yung chance na pag RCA, ang gamitin ay RCA agent, then you can mention it directly sa Claude MD mo. Doon sa specific rule na yon, sub-agents, blah, blah, blah. Yung lahat na sinabi ko. And then you'll say, for root cause analysis, use yung i-reference or i-link mo yung sub-agent name mismo doon. And that way, pag ganyan, Claude would think like, mechanical task to, I'm going to delegate this to a sub-agent. And then you'll say, this is a type RCA, so I'm going to delegate it to that specific sub-agent. And I guess that's it. I hope this video was helpful and you have a wonderful day. Cheers.